The rain was falling in, delicate silver threads outside the small corner cafe as Lucas stepped inside wearing a plain navy jacket and carrying the kind of quiet presence that made people look twice yet not recognize who he truly was. The billionaire tech founder had learned long ago that peace existed only when he vanished into ordinary spaces like this one where nobody expected anything from him. He ordered a simple meal, fries and black coffee, wanting nothing more than a moment of normalcy. The cafe was warm with soft yellow lights that glowed against the windows, and the gentle sound of cutlery tapping rhythmically across wooden tables. As Lucas sat down, he watched the stream of people passing by with hurried steps, umbrellas trembling in the cold wind. He admired the simplicity of it all, the beauty of everyday life. He almost forgot the constant pressure waiting outside, the door cameras, investors, endless meetings. He wanted a break, a breath, a moment where he could just be someone unremarkable. The food arrived, steaming and comforting, but before Lucas could take his first bite, a soft, uncertain voice broke the quiet rhythm of the cafe. He looked up and saw a young woman standing a few steps away, clutching a little boy to her side. Her clothes were worn yet clean, and her hair tied back as if she had rushed through the morning with no time to calm it. Her eyes carried the hush of exhaustion mixed with a quiet sort of bravery. Her smile, thin but determined. She hesitated but finally spoke. "Sir, can we share your fries? My son has been asking for them, but I could only afford tea today." Lucas blinked, not at the request but at the humility in her tone. The boy, about 5 years old, peered up with wide eyes, full of innocence and hunger. Yet he stood politely, waiting for permission rather than grabbing. He looked like he had learned far too early the art of suppressing wants. Lucas softened instantly. "Of course," he said gently, offering the plate toward them. The mother exhaled in relief, whispering, "Thank you," as if it were the first kindness she had received all week. They sat across from him, the boy nibbling small pieces, slowly savoring them while his mother kept apologizing for disturbing him. Lucas felt a pull inside him, a familiar ache, one he tried to bury every time he saw someone fighting quietly against life. He asked their names and she answered, "Maya, and this is Liam." Lucas smiled at the boy whose grin blossomed like a sunrise as he finally felt welcomed. Lucas had no idea that this small moment of generosity was about to entangle him in a story that would change all three of their lives in ways none of them could expect. Maya tried to hide the tremble in her voice as she thanked him again, keeping her hands wrapped around the warm cup of tea as if it was the only source of comfort she had left. Lucas noticed the faint redness around her eyes, the quiet hesitations, the way she kept smoothing Liam's hair with protective tenderness. She had the presence of someone who had carried more burdens than her slight frame should have endured, yet she continued with grace, as if failure was not an option. Her son leaned comfortably against her side, munching the fries with a happiness far too pure for the bleakness she hinted at. Lucas asked casually if they were having a busy day, hoping to ease the heaviness she carried, and to his surprise, she opened up, not fully but enough to reveal the edges of her struggle. She explained that she worked double shifts at a dry cleaning shop and sometimes filled in at a bakery when they needed extra hands. Her husband had left 2 years ago, leaving her to juggle bills, rent, child care, and the fragile hope that tomorrow might be kinder. Liam listened quietly, but Lucas noticed how the boy's small hand slid into his mother's as if to reassure her, even though he was the one who needed assurance. Maya smiled down at him with a tired tenderness that made Lucas's chest tighten. He wondered how long she had been running on sheer willpower. He wondered how many people walked past her every day, never noticing the storm she fought. He ordered more food without drawing attention to it, sliding a small plate of warm sandwiches toward Maya. She shook her head politely, but her stomach betrayed her with a soft rumble. She laughed shyly and accepted. Lucas felt something shift inside him, a gentle tug, a reminder that sometimes fate nudged people toward each other in the most unexpected moments. The cafe grew louder as more customers entered, but within their small Corner time seemed to slow. Lucas watched Maya speak with humility and quiet dignity, telling him snippets about her dreams, about wanting Liam to grow up kind and strong, about wanting to finish her nursing course someday when life allowed it. She had no idea who was listening to her, nor that her words were stirring a long-buried longing in his heart to help without being seen, to lift someone without being worshipped or feared. As they talked, Liam scribbled on a napkin, drawing stick figures of 3 people sitting at a table. Maya chuckled softly, embarrassed, but Lucas smiled widely, something warm blooming inside him. He realized he enjoyed this tiny moment more than any celebration or award ceremony he had attended in years. Simple meal, a simple conversation, a simple connection. And he had no idea how deeply this moment would pull him into their lives. As the rain outside eased into a mist, a heavier truth seemed to settle inside the cafe around Maya and her little boy. Lucas noticed the way Maya kept checking her phone, worrying about the time. She finally explained that she needed to pick up an extra shift, but the sitter had canceled on her, and she could not afford to miss even one. She looked at Liam with guilt shadowing her eyes, saying she might have to bring him along. Though her workplace disliked children being around, Lucas felt the urge to help rising again, but he hesitated, not wanting to appear intrusive. Still, the worry etched on Maya's face made his decision for him. He gently offered to give them a ride to her workplace, since the rain made walking difficult. Maya refused, at first her pride flickering through her words, but Lucas stayed patient, his tone calm, assuring her he understood the need to be careful with strangers. Eventually, she agreed, not because she trusted easily, but because she sensed something sincere in him. They stepped outside the cafe and Lucas led them toward his car, a modest rental, not the luxury vehicles he usually used. The sky was painted in watery shades of gray, the streets shining with puddled reflections. Liam held his mother's hand, hopping over small pools of water, giggling quietly. Lucas watched the small joy with a soft smile. During the drive, Maya opened up more, sharing bits of her story like scattered pieces of a puzzle, her journey through sleepless nights, sudden expenses, the constant battle between hope and exhaustion. At one point her voice cracked, and she quickly wiped a tear, pretending it was dust in her eye. Liam leaned forward, touching her arm, asking softly if she was okay. His innocence struck Lucas deeply. When they arrived outside the dry cleaning shop, Maya thanked Lucas again, looking at him with eyes full of sincerity. She said she wished she could repay his kindness someday, and her voice held a quiet ache, as if the world rarely gave her moments like this. Before she stepped out, Lucas noticed a torn strap on her bag and scribbled quietly on a small card, slipping it inside the bag without a word. Then he watched her walk into her workplace, holding Liam's hand, his heart twisting with a feeling he had not expected. He drove away, but something inside him stayed behind, lingering in the small cafe in the warm corner where they had shared a simple meal. He wondered why the thought of Maya and Liam felt so heavy and so warm all at once. He wondered why he suddenly cared so deeply about the fate of 2 strangers, and he knew he would not be able to ignore whatever destiny was unfurling around them. The next morning, Maya woke early, preparing Liam for school, digging through her bag for his crayons when the small envelope Lucas had slipped inside fell to the floor. She picked it up, confused, opening it with a cautious tremor. Inside was a note, written in neat handwriting, telling her she deserved rest, courage, and kindness, and that the world had not forgotten her, along with a card that looked official yet unfamiliar. At first she feared it was a bill or a mistake, but then she realized it was a job offer from a well-known foundation offering stable hours, childcare, support, and training opportunities. She stared in disbelief, her heart pounding. She thought it was a joke, but beneath the letter was a small, handwritten line from Lucas saying, "Only if you want it, Maya. I believe in you." That single sentence made her breath catch. She hurried to get Liam ready, her hands shaking, wiping away tears before he could see them. Later that afternoon, she found Lucas waiting outside the cafe as if he knew she would come. She walked toward him, holding the letter, her steps wavering between gratitude and confusion. She asked him why he had done this for her, a stranger. He looked at her for a long moment, the wind brushing past them, carrying the scent of warm pastries. And Rain, he explained, in a quiet, steady voice, that he had once grown up with a mother who worked 3 jobs, who hid her pain behind smiles, who never let him feel the weight she carried. He said that kindness saved them in small, invisible ways, and he wanted to pass that on. Maya listened, her breath trembling, as she realized this man was far more than he appeared. She asked who he really was, and he hesitated, but answered with truth, telling her his name, his company, his reason for keeping his identity hidden. Her eyes widened, but she did not look at him the way others did. There was no honor, greed, only a newfound understanding. She told him that his kindness mattered more than his wealth, and something in Lucas's chest loosened gently. Liam ran up to him, tugging his sleeve, saying he drew another picture for him, this time with 3 figures holding hands. Lucas knelt to look at the drawing, warmth spreading across his face. Maya watched them, her heart swelling with a hope she had not felt in years. The world around them seemed to fade, replaced by a delicate feeling of possibility, not a promise, not a fairy tale, just a beginning, a fragile yet powerful beginning, shaped by kindness, courage, and the unexpected meeting of 3 lives destined to change each other forever.